and a very good evening everyone. Welcome back to ACC News. I am Arfadina, your host that will update you on current issues. Nowadays, advanced technology has helped in most of our tasks. This includes cloud computing. Cloud computing is a system whereby it helps their users to process, manage, and access information online. The information that can be kept in the cloud computing is anything from email servers to software programs. The purpose of cloud computing is to help businesses to cut costs on the IT department and focus on their core business. Instead of spending on the IT department, they should channel their capital to the main business. Next is, it is convenient for the users since it helps individuals, organizations, or students to access or manage their data anytime and anywhere since it is being kept online. Now, we will discuss more about this topic after the commercial break.
Bila-bila masa, di mana jua?
Welcome back to ACC News. Without further ado, let's look back at the issue. So, here are some of the examples of cloud computing. First is Google. Google Cloud Platform is a public cloud computing services. The platform includes a range of hosted services for compute, storage, and application development that run on the Google hardware. The Google Cloud Console provides a web-based graphical user interface that you can use to manage your Google Cloud projects and resources. When you use the Google Cloud Console, you either create a new project or choose an existing project, and then you use the resources that you have choose to create the context of the project. Next is Apple. Apple iCloud is a cloud storage and cloud computing service from Apple that has been launched on October 12, 2011. As of 2018, the service had an estimated of 850 million users, up from 782 million users in 2016. If all your computers and mobile devices are from Apple products, you can use the Mac OS X and also Apple iOS to connect to your iCloud space and automatically to store your data there. The data that can be stored there includes your contact list and also your photo gallery. That makes your iCloud the most convenient cloud storage option. Lastly, from Microsoft. Microsoft also offers a set of web-based apps that are web-only version for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and also OneNote accessed via your web browser. That makes a version of a cloud computing. Microsoft 365, which we know was formerly as Office 365, is the cloud-based service that require a monthly or annual subscription to access all the Microsoft tools and apps hosted on the Microsoft server. That includes the online version of Microsoft Office, so there is no need to install it on your PC physically. So cloud computing does give effect to accounting process. Now, let's see what are the effects. Firstly, real-time analysis. The accounting data may be accessed by anybody in the firm at any time thanks to cloud-based accounting. People within the company don't need to be emailed a compilation of the information. If an employee has the login details for the accounting software account, they can run reports and also evaluate the data. In this way, the company's top management and also the executive are able to acquire information and make choices faster. They don't have to rely on another member of the accounting team to give the information that they need. Next is security. Using a cloud computing service, it is a safe approach to store and also to retrieve data. Hackers can take advantage of any flaw in the system, whether it's on the desktop or also whether it's in the cloud. However, the massive networks that operate cloud-based accounting software are constantly monitored for instructions, and typically these systems are constructed with great security as the major component of their design. There is a common misconception that a remote environment lacks the same level of security as a desktop. There is a risk of losing, hacking or stealing desktop system like those on laptops. Backups are performed often and also the data are kept in a centralized location. When settling a piece of cloud-based software, use caution. Furthermore, it can improve client relationships, and outsourced accounting teams' interaction with a company can improve with the use of cloud-based accounting system. Internet access to payroll, budgets and management reports make the accounting firm's job more open and accessible. The outstanding accounting firm service are more valued because of the improved relationship and customer service that comes from sharing data and having real-time access. Lastly, there's no installation or updates required. Desktop accounting software upgrades are one of the most difficult aspects of using this type of software. Every time a software of a company releases a new version, the desktop users must download it and install it. When it comes to software in the early days, this meant receiving a new disk with the data. An internet user to software an internet user can now download the information. In either case, it's a time-consuming endeavor. The program is automatically updated when using cloud-based accounting. Every time a user logs in, the browser automatically loads to the most recent version, and the user has no way of knowing if there is any changes that have been made. Now, I will pass to Ayu Farhana, who is currently live on New Zealand. So Ayu, how is the weather in New Zealand?
It is 6 degrees Celsius and a little bit cloudy here in New Zealand. Thank you, Afra, from the main studio. Coming back to the topic, there are certain services and models working behind the scene, making the cloud computing feasible and accessible to end users, which are deployment model and service model. For the deployment model, there are 3 types of clouds, which are public, private, and hybrid. Each type requires a different level of management from the customer and provides a different level of security. In a public cloud, the entire computing infrastructure is located on the premise of the cloud provider, and the provider delivers services to the customer over the internet. In this model, multiple tenants share the cloud provider's IT infrastructure. This makes the public cloud to be less secure because of its openness. Examples for public cloud is email. Meanwhile, a private cloud is used exclusively by one organization. It could be hosted at the organization's location or at the cloud provider's data center. A private cloud provides the highest level of security and control. The last implementation of cloud is hybrid cloud. As the name suggests, a hybrid cloud is a combination of both private and public clouds. Generally, hybrid cloud customers host their business critical applications on their own server, or known as private cloud, for more security and control, and also store their secondary applications at the cloud provider's location, which is known as the public cloud. Cloud accounting software has risen in popularity as a software deployment model. The cloud has become an integral business technology tool. It is available with a variety of features and lends itself to companies of different sizes, ultimately placing itself as the answer to many organizations' financial management needs. Cloud accounting is very similar to on-premise software, but with one key difference. Cloud accounting software is hosted and maintained on central servers, accessed via the internet. Users are able to use remote servers to store and access their data instead of storing key information on a local computer or server. Example of cloud accounting software is SaaS software model. However, we should know that before accounting software moved to remote hosting on the cloud, they were commonly hosted on a hard drive of a desktop computer. On-premise software, or known as traditional accounting software, comes with initial infrastructure costs as well as maintenance costs of on-site software and hardware. From the table, we can see the difference between cloud accounting software and traditional accounting software. For traditional accounting, the company is the owner for the accounting software license. Meanwhile, the system location is chosen by the company, as well as the hardware, Windows and SQL server, and the IT resources. It needs to be provided by the company. Not only that, the maintenance cost is separated by the cost of the server, and the user is only license limited. Compared to cloud accounting, the company is the tenant of the accounting software license. This is because the system location of the cloud is in a central location. Moreover, cost and system are included when a company implements the software. Meanwhile, the number of users is limitless. To explain further, from the previous table, we can see that cloud accounting is comparable to traditional accounting, except it offers the flexibility and collaboration synonymous with the cloud. Financial business teams are able to use cloud accounting to retrieve real-time data and mobile collaboration. This acts as an efficient organization tool for your company to ensure accounts are accurate, balanced, and easily updated from anywhere in the world. Furthermore, cloud computing provides a software function without large upfront costs or licensing fees. This difference in cost is largely due to the fact that this software is stored, updated, and maintained in the cloud in a central location. Cloud accounting is typically more cost-efficient than traditional ERP system, as it doesn't come with software versioning upgrades and ongoing IT maintenance fees. Meanwhile, servers, costs and resources in traditional accounting needs to be provided by the company, which incur more costs. Moreover, traditional platforms are limited to a relatively small number of users, depending on the size of the company. Meanwhile, cloud platforms are able to support multiple users on a large scale.
Hi sister, what are you watching? You are so focused.
Hi sis, come join me. I'm watching the news. It's about cloud computing.
Oh, I know about it. But sister, do cloud computing has any levels?
Yeah, that's true. Depending on the services provided by the provider, cloud computing can be split into 3 levels from the lowest to the highest level. Do you want to watch it with me? Come together. Here, let me show you more. Okay, first we have IaaS. Second, we have PaaS, and the last one is SaaS.
Wow, there are so many apps. What does it stand for? Can you elaborate more, sister?
Sure, why not? Let me explain more to you. IaaS stands for Infrastructure as a Service, which is provisioning model in which a corporation places outside its equipment it needs to run the operation. such as data storage, hardware, server, and networking components. Hardware as a Service or HAAS also can be known as IaaS. The most obvious benefit that we can see from adopting the IaaS is that it transfers the control of computer equipment problems to the supplier. Another appealing feature is the cost savings associated with cloud computing technology, which allows the user to pay only for what they need. Scalability is also essentially automated and obvious to the user with infrastructure as a service, leaving the obligation to service providers. For example, an organization can supply you with a variety of resources and apps, storage space, hardware, networking components, and other resources are examples of these resources.
Oh, I understand.
Now we move on to PaaS. PaaS is a platform as a service. Because of the rapid rise of cloud computing, it has become necessary to include platforms for creating and cooperating bespoke applications. This nation is known as PaaS. On-demand, web-based, or SaaS solutions are also known as PaaS apps. Okay, the software is also handled by the provider. In addition to the problem with the physical infrastructure, this type of solution eliminates the need for the client to install, configure, or manage the operating systems, database, or application servers because they are all given as part of the platform. When opposed to a solution that merely delivers infrastructure as a service, a platform as a service addresses more difficulties because it has numerous constraints relating to the runtime environment, the kind of system, the programming language in certain situations, libraries, and the database management are among them. Companies like Google, YouTube, eBay, Podhost, and iTunes use this paradigm to allow the new capabilities and access to new markets via the web browser, with PaaS providing a more quick and cost-benefit advantage in this application development and delivery.
What about the last one, sis?
And the last one is software as a service, which is SaaS, the most well-known of cloud computing. Yes. SaaS is a software delivery mechanism that allows clients to access it through the internet, usually the internet. As a result, they don't have to bother about application or configuration, deployment, or maintenance because the vendor take care of everything. Using SaaS approach, distributed application may reach any firm, regardless of the size or geography. For example, Google Apps. It is an example of SaaS. Do you understand? Good. Let's watch the rest of the news.
We should know the opportunity and challenges of cloud computing so that we can benefit from this technology. The opportunities are you will never be alone in the virtual world. Communication and collaboration are made possible through cloud-based technologies. As long as you have a desktop computer, you will have all the processing power and also the data that you need at hand. Friends and co-workers are always close at hand while using cloud computing, which allows you to exchange data with them. One of the finest examples is Facebook. If your friends are willing to open up to you, you can have a better understanding of their lives. Commercial interests at their worst limit the freedom of speech. Facebook, on the other hand, lets you to keep your tabs open so that you can know what your friends are up to or how they are feeling and what you two might be able to accomplish together. Next is, it is a major advantage of the cloud to provide for a consistent experience regardless of the location or device. Personal services may keep a track of a user's previous interaction even if they switch devices or touch points. It is because the fact that the service essence resides in the cloud rather than on the device. Spotify is a great example of how this may be demonstrated. Spotify Connect is one of many ways that the firm has attempted to make music accessible to its subscribers. They have succeeded in making the service to feel consistent across all platforms and devices. Music can be played on a variety of devices, so users can take up where they left off. For example, when they get out of their automobile and head back to their place of residence. Lastly, to some extent, cloud computing is democratizing innovation by making cutting-edge technology accessible to all software developers without requiring substantial upfront financial commitment. By offering advanced software solution as a service, cloud computing lowers their price. Developers can take advantage of these services without putting a lot of time and effort. When it comes to artificial intelligence and machine language, chatbots and other assistive technologies, cloud-based solutions are available. When it comes to small businesses, APIs can save time and money by providing features such as machine translation and also image recognition at a low cost. So the challenges are, firstly, there are many firms that lack cloud computing knowledge because they lack a cloud computing team. Remember that cloud technology expertise isn't simple. This means that any job that involves the cloud must be handled by a team. As a result, your cloud computing management solutions can be taught and also retaught to the same group of personnel each time. Typically, this involves assembling a team of IT experts to handle all of your cloud computing needs. Next, businesses that depend heavily on online services frequently run into issues with their internet connections. Problems with internet connections can be common in some regions than in others. It actually depends on where you live. If you don't pay attention to network issues, you could lose some important files. Always have a backup in case something goes wrong. Even if businesses find the cloud to be an excellent and also reliable software set, it is not without its drawback. Having a backup ensures that any issues with cloud-based files during internet access issues are properly addressed. Lastly, a company's cloud accounts become increasingly risky as its size increases. It is because so many people will have the access to the shared password now that it has been made public. It is more likely that a password will be leaked, whether deliberately or by accident. As a result, if your company's password are compromised, sensitive information about your customers and also your employees could be made public. Having a two-factor authentication system in place can be a simple answer to password security issues. In addition, change of password often and only update to those employees who truly require access to the password security can be another way of overcoming this challenge. So, do you have any comment regarding the benefits from the cloud computing?
Thank you, Arfa. There are many benefits when companies adopt cloud computing, especially in accounting industry. First benefit is remote access. Cloud computing enables the firm staff to access the accounting data and applications anytime from anywhere with an internet connection through portable devices such as laptops, smartphones, and tablets. Secondly, switching to the cloud ensures the protection and integrity of clients' data by diminishing the possibilities of data loss or computer failure. Cloud security includes multiple tools like multi-factor authentication, firewalls, and data encryption within the network infrastructure to ensure a secure cloud environment. It helps to provide continuity and protection to sensitive accounting data and transactions. Next, the cost-saving benefits that cloud computing brings are vital. It eliminates unnecessary expenses on maintenance, server failures, and other associated costs. This is because when companies opt for cloud hosting services, the provider takes the responsibility of handling all such tasks that eventually reduce both capital as well as the operating costs. Another benefit of cloud computing is regular data backups. Losing valuable data can become costly and time-consuming for any business. Cloud data backups are excellent for providing security for accounting businesses that want to ensure their critical data is available even in times of disaster like earthquakes or cyber attacks. Lastly, by moving to cloud computing, accounting firms contribute to the environment by minimizing the requirement of hardware on their premise. As the hardware required is minimum, the power needed is also minimized, leading to a reduction in power consumption and optimum energy utilization. Hence, the cloud eliminates unnecessary spending due to the use of energy-efficient equipment and fewer carbon footprints. That is all from me. Back to Arfa in the main studio.
If there are benefits, there must be drawbacks to right.
Hello sister, can you help me with my assignment? I need to look for the drawback of the cloud accounting. And I overheard you talk about it with our sister just now.
Sure, let me help you. I'm currently watching about it though.
Thank you, Ayu from New Zealand. I wish for your safety and also good health. As we know, everything has its pros and cons, and so does cloud accounting. Now, let us hear the report from our researchers to know more about this.
Good morning everyone, and thank you Arfa from the main studio. So as we can see, the first and foremost drawbacks of cloud accounting is that we can only use it online. To use the cloud, you'll need an internet access. While this has certain advantages, there is also disadvantages. Traditional accounting software allows you to continue working even if your office connection goes down. However, you will not be able to keep working with a proper use of cloud accounting. This problem may be avoided by moving to a location with a different internet connection. But if that isn't easily available, it might result in substantial potential downtime. Because you must use cloud accounting online, it can consume a lot of bandwidth, so make sure your present internet connection can manage it. Next, it demands strong security practice. Yes, cloud accounting is significantly safer, but only if you follow the best practices to guarantee that you and your team aren't putting your system at risk. Every company and employees bears some responsibility for ensuring that sensitive information is kept safe. This might include lessons on password securities and the need of avoiding leaving computers logged in and unintended. Access control features should be by those in most senior administrative roles to ensure that each individual employee or team only has access to the aspects of the cloud accounting system that are directly relevant to them. It takes some effort to protect, but it is well worth it. The third one is the ongoing cost. While cloud accounting may be less expensive, it is still a recurring expenses that must be factored into your normal budget. Many cloud accounting companies provide you some freedom in terms of how and when you pay, but almost all require that you pay on a regular basis. This might mean that cloud accounting is more expensive in the long run for some packages, so make sure you choose your provider carefully and understand the charges before you jump in. Lastly, cloud accounting lacks specialized tools. The most popular cloud accounting software, Xero Accounting, offer all the features that most small business want. However, they may not have all the functionality you want for more specialized enterprises, such as constructions. However, the cloud accounting industry is becoming more diverse, so it's worth doing some research and seeing what's available. It's only natural to assume that as the market expands, more specialized solutions will become accessible. We all know that this technology will evolve gradually, as is customary. While cloud accounting is a technology that has been in use for some years, it has yet to be completely assimilated as a fundamental trend in enterprises. The amount of acceptance varies depending on the size of the businesses. Medium and small enterprises are beginning to embrace the cloud computing solutions, while major corporations are doing so in response to specific demands. On the other hand, there are end users for whom cloud computing has changed the way they conduct businesses, improving in most cases and allowing them to collaborate in new ways with other users in different locations, as well as access to applications that require a web browser from virtually any computer, including mobile devices. That is all the report from me, ACC reporter Najatul Aimi. Return to the main studio.
Thank you, Najatul Aimi. That is all updates for today. I am Arfalina, hoping to see you next week. Thank you.
Wow, today's news was so knowledgeable. Let's use all the points to finish your assignment.